If any of y'all believing that Vlad solved the Tupac murder, y'all got it wrong.
It seems like we at least got some answers around 2Pac's murder, and we gonna get into that.
Right.
But Biggie's is still unsolved, right?
Correct. Technically, both of them. But Biggie's, yeah. You had Reggie Wright Jr., who was the leading suspect in the Biggie murder at the time Russell Poole died and was investigating this case.
Okay.
When he showed, the day he died, his theory was, allegedly, Reggie Wright Jr. had something to do with the killing of Notorious B.I.G. He was the lead person on the case.
Okay.
Right? Now, when you get to the meat and potatoes of it, it is said that David Kenner and Reggie hired David Mack, Perez, and them to allegedly kill Big, right? Now, when you go down that rabbit hole, you know, to make a long story short, after Russell Poole dies, right, Gray Caden comes on, right? This is the guy that did Murder Rap.
Okay.
Gray Caden continues the investigation and he starts off with Reggie. Reggie spins him and tells him Southside killed Biggie in retaliation for not getting their money for the death of Tupac, for the hit on Tupac, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that begins the chase, right? So Gray Caden and the LAPD task force got the Biggie case now. They go to Reggie, who's their suspect. He tells them Southside did it, right? Because they didn't get their money for killing Tupac. That's how all this leads back to Diddy, right? Because Reggie told Gray Caden that Keefy D and them killed Biggie because they didn't get their money for killing Tupac, right? Wow. That's where Gene Deal comes in, because he tells the world that he saw the check, that Zip told him that he got the check for the hit on Tupac. He tells Doggy Diamonds that, right? I saw the check.
Who the heck is writing the check for a hit, though?
Well, according to Gene Deal,
I'm just thinking about if I were ever to do one, I wouldn't
that would
write
be
no
done.
check.
Right. So according to Gene Deal, Zip told him that was the check for Pac's life. Okay. And that's what he told Doggy Diamonds. And that's where you can find that information, right? So Gray Caden goes on a chase and he starts investigating Keefy D. He sets Keefy D up with a PCP ring with one of his boys, Dirt Rock, right? Who allegedly went and bought this PCP, and that's how they got to question Keefy D. And, you know, they got to catch you dirty, because if you ain't dirty and they come talk to you and you like, get out of here, then, you know, they ain't got nothing to hold you on. So that's what they did. They set him up, boom. That's where this whole profit talk comes in with Keefy D. So what happens is Gray Caden goes to Keefy D, right? And accuses him of killing Biggie.
Okay.
Now, what Gray Caden didn't know was Keefy D was with Biggie that night at the Peterson Museum. They went and they met up with Puff, right? Puff gave them a couple of bottles of Cristal, according to Keefy D, and said, yo, the feds is all over us. Yo, fall back. You know what I'm saying? I'll holler at you later, right? So Keefy D tell Gray Caden, get out of here. We was with Biggie that night. How the hell we killed him? We was there. So that leads to the conversation about Tupac, because Reggie tells him they killed Biggie to get their money for Tupac. So now Gray Caden starts talking to him about the Tupac situation. Oh, yeah, well, y'all killed Tupac. What you talking about we killed Tupac? Yeah, this is how y'all did it. Now, according to Keefy D, when he first met with Gray Caden, they got a board, they pull the board down, they show him how the car's set up, this, that, and the other. This is what happened, y'all killed Tupac, right? Now, he's got this whole story from Reggie.
Gotcha.
Right? Now, Reggie, how you know how this whole thing happened with Tupac? Right? We'll get to that, right? So, Kevy D gives an involuntary statement about the 2Pac situation being coached by Greg Caden, who already got the story from Reggie, allegedly, right? Because how else would he know how this shit happened, right? So Kevy D is doing this, what they call the proffer, and where we hear on Murder Rap, where they talking about the 2Pac situation. But as you can hear, a lot of the information is being fed to him, right, from Greg Caden. So to make a long story short, Greg Caden and Kevy D, he gets this proffer agreement, so they say, where now he can't be charged for the 2Pac murder. So now he knows that they had nothing to do with Biggie's murder. He partially confessed to being at the 2Pac thing. So now they double back on Reggie for the Biggie murder. You lied to us, motherfucker. Biggie ain't had nothing. I mean, Southside was there with Biggie that night. Oh, no, you know what? It was Poochie. Now it's Poochie that killed Biggie, not Southside, for retaliation for not getting their money for which go. Now Reggie spins Greg Caden ass the other way. Oh no, it's Poochie, right? So how is it Poochie? Well, Teresa Swan or Tammy Hawkins, whichever is her real name, right? But in Unsolved, they call her Teresa Swan. I think her real name is Tammy Hawkins, right? Yeah. Suge got her to come to the jail, and they set up the murder through Poochie, who nobody ever seen at the Peterson Museum, who has a beard like mine's. The Muslim dude just had a mustache, right? No beard or whatever. So Greg Caden, to secure the murder conviction on Biggie, this fool goes and write a fake statement that Poochie supposed to have wrote, confessing that he killed Biggie, right? He takes this fake statement and shows it to Teresa Swan or Tammy Hawkins. Poochie said he killed Biggie, and you said you helped him set up through Suge going to the jail, this, that, and the other, and stuff. He writes this lie, and she goes, yeah, that's the truth. Everything you said is the truth. Well, we're going to give you immunity. We want you to go up to the jail and get Suge to admit that he hired Poochie to kill Biggie, right? And we're going to give you full immunity to do this, right? Right there, the whole case should have been in the garbage. Why? Greg Caden, you just wrote a fucking statement for a dead man. Poochie's dead. He never wrote no statement. He wrote this statement knowing it's a lie. Brings it to her and said, Poochie said this. And this is what happened. He said you was involved. And she go, yeah, anything Poochie said, that's the truth. All right, well, we giving you immunity. We're going to get you to go into the jail. Why are you even going that far when you know if she's agreeing to this letter? You wrote this letter, dummy. You know she's lying. You wrote this fake statement. So if she's agreeing to it and she's telling you it's the truth, why didn't you tell her you're lying? You're going to jail. I wrote this up. This ain't even the fucking truth, girl. He sends her, gives her immunity, go and try to set up Suge. She goes on the wire to the jail to talk to Suge to try to get him to confess to some shit that never happened. So Suge never confesses to setting this up because he never set it up. So she comes back. They never get the confession for Suge. Case solved. Biggie was killed by Poochie. That's it. Right? So now the world is running around. Vlad and all these idiots is sitting there saying Poochie killed Biggie because Reggie told Greg Caden Poochie killed Biggie. They said, oh, Poochie had an Impala just like the one that was used. Okay, well, pull up the DMV records. Poochie ever registered up in Bala? Who seen Poochie? Nobody. But David Mack was at the Peterson Museum that night. Kevin Gaines was at the Peterson that night. Rafael Perez was at the Peterson Museum that night. Not only did eyewitnesses, Layla seen them there, some of the death row dudes seen them there. Rafael Perez is on log for being there. And Rafael Perez went to the morgue and signed in to see Biggie body. So Greg Caden and them running around here talking about Poochie killed Biggie. You got that from Reggie. Where's your proof? Right? Now, Reggie is the same person that was able to call his father within minutes and tell his father that Southside shot Tupac and Suge, but wasn't at the scene. Reggie wasn't head of Death Row security, or security hired by Death Row. The Tupac fight at the MGM Grand, he's always with Suge. Ironically, he's not there.
Okay.
Right? The head of security. And not only is he not there, that weekend, he told all the security they couldn't carry their guns.
Okay.
So Reggie Wright Jr. has a meeting with this lawyer, George Calise, where he sits down, Michael Moore, who's been with Tupac all week in New York and everything, was with Tupac when he heard Angie Martinez over the radio and Snoop say that he ain't got no beef with Biggie and Puff, which started Snoop and the Dog Pound already had beef with Pac and the Outlaws. The world don't know that.
Because we actually did a recent story where there was like a falling out between Snoop and Tupac.
Right.
Snoop has admitted himself that they ended kind of on bad terms.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Snoop says that their last encounter was when they got off the jet in LA. He got in his car, Pac got in his car, and he like, yo, cuz, you going to Vegas? And Pac just turned his head on him or whatever. There's another story how that ended. Okay. I'll leave that alone for now.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back. Yeah.
There was never going to be any I can't say they wasn't going to reconcile their relationship. But at that point, after Snoop did that and made an allegiance with Puff and Big, he drew the line in the sand. You think Pac was going to be in the studio or anything with Snoop after that? No. The beef was lit, right? Now, for some weird reason, Warren G tells the story how Snoop had a walkie-talkie.
Okay.
And he could hear what was going on in Vegas the night Pac and them got shot. He told that story on Drink Champs. Not only that, Daz, Corrupt, Badass, all tell the story how Snoop told everybody, we not going to Vegas. Nate Dogg too. Nobody go Vegas, right? They didn't tell Suge and them they wasn't going to Vegas. Snoop is telling his crew, we not going to Vegas. Nate Dogg like, F you, dog, I'm going. He like, yo, well, be careful, don't go, right? He wound up going, right? But Snoop told everybody not to go. Why? Right? Boom. Orlando Anderson has the fight in the MGM Grand, right? Reggie is the one that's out here telling the story about they had a fight at the Lakewood Mall over a bounty for the Death Row chains, right? You ask anybody, Suge, anybody out there, were there a bounty on Death Row chains? No, there wasn't, right? That was the alibi for the setup for Tupac's murder. right? Allegedly, right?
Okay.
The Lakewood Mall incident originates from Trayvon Lane and Baby Lane. Baby Lane is Orlando Anderson, right? Reggie has put this out there as well. Trayvon Lane is originally from Long Beach. Orlando Anderson is originally from Long Beach.
Okay.
They both was Crips from Long Beach.
Okay.
That's why they both got the lane. Baby Lane, Trayvon Lane, right? When they ran into each other at the Lakewood Mall, that was over set tripping.
Okay.
Because now when Orlando sees, or Baby Lane sees Trayvon Lane, it's what's up, cuz? I'm not cuz no more. I'm Blood. I'm MOB. I'm Mob. Pyru, right? Now, Orlando moved into the Southside Crip neighborhood. Trayvon moved into the Mob neighborhood. They run into each other in Compton at the swap meet at the Lakewood Mall. They see each other. Now they on different sides of the color spectrum. Allegedly, that's why the fight started. It was no death row bounty on the chains. You ask BG Knockout, you ask Trady, you ask any of these people, nobody ever heard of this death row bounty on these chains, right? They get into each other over set trim, they fighting, the chain just happened to come off in the scuffle. The chain never got took. Trayvon never lost his chain, right? You could find that out from K-Dub tells the story, the chain never got took, and he also said the fight wasn't over no chain. It was no death row bounty, right? So they have the fight, whatever. Reggie Wright Jr. and George Calise make sure that Frank Alexander, Michael Moore don't have their guns, and he pulls Michael Moore off of 2Pac, who was with 2Pac for the whole week. He's put Michael Moore on the cash register at 662 after the fight, Orlando Anderson fight, right? Which is oddly strange. Frank Alexander, who's riding with the Outlaws behind 2Pac, don't have no gun. Nobody got their gun, except for one of the homeboys may have had a gun, right? They get into the entourage. After the fight, they go to the hotel, they change this, that, and the other. They driving back. They go to Suge House. After Suge House, they drive into Club 662. What a lot of people don't know is right before the shooting, they get pulled over by some bicycle cops, right? The bicycle cops search Suge's car, make sure they ain't got no guns. Soon as the bicycle cop let them go, they drive up, right? Now, according to Suge, as they getting up to the light, K-Dub cuts him off, right? K-Dub, I don't know if he's still Mal Pyru, because he hangs with Snoop now heavy, which is kind of strange, right? Not strange because it's Death Row, but strange that he's Mal Pyru and Suge and Snoop don't really rock with each other, and he's with them, right? But Suge says K-Dub cuts him off, right? And then Suge also says it this way: Reggie's man, K-Dub cuts him off. Reggie's boy, right? He's here. Trayvon Lane is here, so Suge can't go that way. According to Suge, K-Dub's not at the light, he's blocking the crosswalk, right? And he's not like stopped at the light in the crosswalk, he kind of like cuts him off in the crosswalk, allegedly, right? The white Cadillac comes up, dumps on them, right? Now, here's where it's interesting. Reggie's not in this entourage to see none of this, right? A white Cadillac comes up, the shooting happens, the Cadillac takes off, whatever. Some say allegedly Bunchy jumped out and bust some shots at the Cadillac and then jumped in his car and chased it, all right? Here's where things get interesting. Not until recently, another thing, Gene Skrill ran and on the internet and said, this dude, Little Daddy, who was with Zip, called him up after the shooting and said, yo, a nigga ran up on that car and lit that shit up, right? Now, according to the story, it was a drive-by, a white Cadillac.
Right. That's what we all heard.
Right. So nobody said anything about anybody running up on foot, right? Shooting up the car, right?
I never heard that.
Right. So I've heard it before, right? Gene heard it before, but Gene heard it from coming through the Southside Crip grapevine, because the Little Daddy dude was with Zip. Zip was with Southside Crips. And they called Gene that night, he said. I didn't hear this until recently, right? They called him that night and said they ran up on the car and shot up the car. Now, here go Reggie. Oh, man, Gene making up stuff. Nobody ever said anything about anybody being outside the car, running up on the car, right? Well, once again, Shook said K-Dub was Reggie boy, and he cut him off, right? Me, being investigative journalism that I am, I played the clip. K-Dub gets interviewed by civil attorney Ben Crump in Who Killed 2Pac documentary that they did, right? Or Unsolved, or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was, right? I think it's Who Killed 2Pac, right? He interviews K-Dub. K-Dub says he was at the light. He heard the shots.
Okay.
He looked in the rearview mirror. He could see Pac trying to jump in the back seat.
I heard that's
right.
Right.
And now Pac's trying to jump in the back seat, right? But Reggie said no one ever told the story, or no one ever was outside the car. Gee, nobody was ever outside the car. Gee, nobody was ever outside the car. Then K-Dub says, I'm looking in my rearview mirror and I can see Pac jumping in the back seat of the car, and the car's filled with smoke. Then the next thing he says is this. I got out my car and I ran up on the car. And I said, yo, Pac, you all right? And Pac was just looking at me. Then I turned to Suge. I said, yo, Suge, you all right? And Suge is like this, just stunned, holding the steering wheel, looking. Reggie, I thought you said there was nobody outside the car.
You know what's interesting, real quick, because you kind of laid up a lot.
One question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Suge say somebody ran up to the car and asked him, was he all right?
Not off the top of my head.
He's never said that.
Not off top of my head.
He's never said that. You go look at the American Nightmare documentary.
But I think a part of me wouldn't be surprised if someone did, but I think...
You ever heard the Outlaws, Frank, Bunchy, anybody say they saw somebody run up to the car and check up on these niggas?
Right. The story typically always kind of ends after the shooting. Now, here's something I thought was interesting. Since we're in this world, I'm a big 2Pac fan, by the way. I always thought the story, this is me, how the story was told to the masses, that a car came on the side and started dumping into it. Now, what you just laid up, you said there was a car that kind of like cut in front of it or got in front of it?
In front of the BMW, yes.
I don't think I caught that part in the major stories. I always just heard like it was one car, a part of it. Is that accurate?
A part of the shooting?
The shooting.
Yeah.
It's always like one car.
The white Cadillac,
like,
yes.
a car pulled
Right.
up and started shooting into it.
Yeah.
Because
But how did Suge get stuck at the light where he couldn't pull off?
That's where, because I'm going to be fair.
K-Dub was in front of him.
That's where I think is crazy. Because if someone's shooting at me, I'm pumping the gas right through the fucking light. So that's where it was like,
You at the light, you in the front, niggas shooting, you sitting there in the mirror watching?
I'm punching the gas and my head is down.
Not only did you watch, you got out your car and ran up to the BMW.
And asked if they was all right. Are you alluding to?
I'm not saying nothing.
Okay.
You out there in the comments, you make your best goddamn decision.
So, outside of us, you know.
No, go ahead. You know what? Go ahead, ask your question.
My question was more so just whoever ran up to the car, because it seems like someone has, were they more so seeing if they were dead versus really asking if they were okay?
Or could they been one of the shooters?
Well, that's what I mean. You want to verify.
There's a win. If you, from my speculation, the trajectory of the bullets, there's a bullet dead through the windshield.
Understood. Oh, so you're saying the shooter gets out the car to kind of make sure the job is done. But then they tell everybody else that I was just checking to make sure they was good. Just to kind of let you know why
Out of curiosity,
yeah.
Did K-Dub go to the crime scene?
I never even heard of his K-Dub character.
Because after he tell his story to Crump, he got out the car.
Mm-hmm.
He ran up on the car. He said, "Yo, Pac, you all right?"
Mm-hmm.
And then he turned to Suge, asked Suge, "Yo, Suge, you all right?" And then he went and jumped back in his car, and he said, "Suge and them busted U-turn and went back that way." Well, where'd he go?
Mm.
And why is Reggie saying that nobody ever got out the car when he's sitting there telling Ben Crump himself, "I ran up on the car after he was shot"? You want me to play the clip?
I kind of want to, and I want to touch on some other things. Did you kind of lay up what you think you feel that you needed to put out there?
Yeah.
So people can do their investigations and...
That right there in itself, somebody asked Suge, did he come and ask him, was he all right?
Mm.
You don't think Gaddafi would have seen a nigga run up on the car and to check on them? If he did that, they all would have got out the car and been talking to him, right?
Right, because at that point, it means the shooting has stopped.
Yeah, because you still got him blocked. He can't pull off nowhere.
And Gaddafi was in the car behind
him.
So if it was, right, they would have, this is us assuming, after the shooting stopped, we all would have then ran to Pac, who is the person that's feeding us, taking care of it. He's the leader of this thing. Make sure he's good. If that car had left at that point.
Right. So is the white Cadillac still standing there when K-Dub runs up and say, "Yo, Pac, you all right?" And Pac is just looking at him like that. The way he's describing it looks like the last picture of Tupac.
Got you.
He said Pac just sitting there looking at him with a dumb look. And Ben Crump says, "So he didn't say nothing to you?" He like, "Nah, he ain't say nothing." So I didn't turn to Suge, like, "Yo, Suge, you all right?" And he said Suge just on the steering wheel, just dazed.
That don't sound right.
And he went and jumped in his car. And he said Suge and them made the U-turn.
So Suge didn't carry on him?
They didn't have no guns on. They had guns in that car, but it was a new car. Suge didn't know that the guns was in the stash spot.
Copy.
So they never got a chance to, to know or to get to him. Because he didn't even know they was in there.
Right.
And that was told by one of Suge's drivers, the former security, Death Row Dave, that there was guns in there. They just they didn't know. The police ain't even find them. When they got the car back, they got them out.
So just making sure, I want to at least try to make sure I understood, because you just threw a lot on the table. So Reggie Wright, for those that don't know, is
Reggie Wright Jr.
Reggie Wright Jr. He was the head of security for Death Row Records.
No, he owned a company called Right Way Security that was hired by Death Row Security. Death Row Records.
Okay, so are we alluding to that he was kind of the mastermind of this? What's his connection to
allegedly?
K-Dub? What's his connection to K-Dub?
They grew up together.
Okay, so they know each other.
Yeah, they live houses away from each other, allegedly.
Okay.
When growing up.
Okay.
But yes, I personally feel that allegedly Reggie has a strong involvement in the Tupac murder.
What would be the motive? That's
Money.
what I'm thinking. Okay.
One, if he would have died, he would have ran Death Row, which he did when Suge went to jail.
Okay.
Two, Sharitha Knight and him is like this, right? She was managing all the Crips at the time. Snoop, the Dog Pound, everybody on that side. Kevin Gaines was her boyfriend, who Suge stripped and left in the desert, kicked in her door looking for this nigga, right? Mm-hmm. Her, Reggie, Snoop, all on the same side. Snoop got a problem with Tupac. He don't know what the hell is gonna happen next time he see Tupac. Suge is siding with Tupac. Suge told Tupac to fire David Kenner, right? Tupac just fired Reggie Wright Jr. less than 14 days before he got killed. Tupac fired David Kenner less than 14 days he got killed. Him and Kenner was working together. David Kenner and Reggie was close. When Suge went to jail, David Kenner and Reggie was running Death Row Records, right? So if Suge would have died,
it would have been next shit.
Reggie would have been running Death Row. Sharitha would have inherited the whole label because everybody thought she was the wife at the time, right? And Snoop, Tupac is going, he backed the franchise player, which happened anyway, right? Was Snoop on was Tupac on Snoop's Dog Father album? No. Right? Why?
Right.
Right? That may not mean nothing, but it is kind of strange. Snoop did a whole compilation album with the Southside Crips. Big Dre, that was allegedly supposed to be in the car. Oh, you hear me what I'm saying to you?
Okay.
Snoop did the Hard White compilation with Freaky J, Big Dre, from the Southside Crips, Orlando Anderson's partner.
Okay. Yeah.
After Tupac is dead. Okay. The people that supposed to kill Tupac, Snoop did the whole album with these niggas. Not strange?
Snoop has done some things that people had issues with that were big Tupac fans, that he was, he was cool with Diddy. Just being cool with Diddy, I think, rubbed people the wrong way. So that makes me ask you, even thinking about Puff or Diddy, where does he come in that equation? Because that's...
Diddy hired Crips, right? to be security, right? He was rocking with Southside Crips, right? Reggie's a Gray Street Crip, right? The dude that runs with Diddy, D-Mac, is a Crip. Now, Gene said that D-Mac always said, this is all documented, that when Suge had beef with Puff, or vice versa, D-Mac kept telling Diddy, yo, my Southside and my Grape Street niggas will take care of Suge and Tupac, right? Reggie's a Grape Street Crip affiliate. It's in his paperwork, federal. He just came home from jail doing a federal bid for trafficking drugs, right? And he's affiliated with the Grape Street Crips, even the Grape Street Crips in Memphis, right? Southside Crips, Keefe D, Mob James, Baby Mother, Southside Crip, right? Who's still connected to this day? Reggie was still cool with Keefe D, calling him on the phone, fucking with him, still talk to Keefe D's son. Mob James openly admits that he wanted to rob and try to get the homies to get Suge. They was going to extort him, rob him, do whatever. Him, Reggie, Keefe D, still cool, right? Reggie's Crip affiliated, Mob James, Crip affiliated, Keefe D, Crip affiliated, Snoop, Crip affiliated, right? Diddy hires the Crips, he's still cool with the Crips, he's still chilling with Snoop, who's a Crip. Him and Snoop ain't got no beef, Crip, right? This is all alleged, right? So now you got D-Mac, who tells Diddy, yo, the Southside Crips Island, we got this alleged Diddy making this indecent proposal to Keefe D to, I got $1 million for y'all if y'all get Pac and Suge, right? So now, Snoop ain't got no beef with Big and Puff, right? Reggie just got fired by Tupac. David Kennedy just got fired by Tupac. Suge just found out they stole 20, 30 million from him at I think allegedly Kentron, which is the accounting firm, right? So Suge and Pac just got woke. Y'all niggas is stealing. You know what I'm saying? Reggie, I'm not fucking with you. Kenna, I'm not fucking with
Gotcha.
you. And now we going to Vegas. Snoop just told his whole crew don't go to Vegas, right? The incident happened at the MGM Grand. Trayvon Lane says something to Tupac, which sends him off to jump on Orlando, right? That whole thing, if you go watch the surveillance video of that whole thing is a play.
Okay.
You can see the man who we allege is Kevin Gaines stand there watching the fight, then comes back later and walks Orlando out of there. Orlando don't walk out of there with no police. A detective or some guy come and walk Orlando. It takes him from the Vegas police and walk him out of there, right? Orlando wasn't the shooter because his fucking arm got kicked out the shoulder. His shoulder got kicked out of place. He's at the hospital, right? If you go look at the hospital records, you could tell when he was released that he couldn't have been at the goddamn scene of the crime.
So to play, just real quick, because that's the footage we all saw, that's like orchestrated to what? To entice?
As an alibi.
So they would think this that deep to take, was the target always Pac or was it Suge?
Suge and Pac, honestly. Pac, because they could get the money from Puffy, right? 2 birds in 1 stone. To kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If Suge dies, they all inherit the label, right? Pac dies, Snoop back #1 artist. in death row.
So everybody
Right?
would
So
win.
we would want both of them niggas to die. But when Suge didn't die, what they do? Send his ass to jail, right? How he go to jail? Everybody thinks that Suge went to jail for the Orlando Anderson fight, getting violated for kicking him. No, Suge got violated. Look at his violation papers for leaving the country. Who told me he could leave the country? Reggie and Kenna. Oh, you cleared? He go over there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We come back. You violated, nigga. He like, yo, I got permission. No, you didn't. She'll go to jail. Who gets the label? Kenna and Reggie. Pac's dead. Dog father come out. Stu's back in position. Boom. It's a Crip label again.
So you pretty much broke down a civil war within Death Row Records,
Of course, that's what it was.
ended up to the
And see, a lot of
demise
people don't know because they
2Pac.
don't know about fights and things that happen. You know, like there was a fight between Pac and Corrupt. You never heard that either, right? You heard that before? Physical fight, right? So the whole thing is Reggie told Greg Caden that Biggie got killed because Southside didn't get their money for killing Tupac. And that's where this whole spin come through, right? And if you go look on, there's an interview with Vlad, with Bobby Ladd, who has paperwork that shows that Reggie was the main suspect in the Biggie murder, and Greg Caden didn't follow up on it. He just took what he told him and ran with it and did the documentary and shit. And that's why Greg Caden allegedly ain't coming back telling the truth, because he done made too much money off the murder rap shit. He knows who was the suspect. And if any of y'all believing that Vlad solved the Tupac murder, y'all got it wrong. And you will find that out come March 2025 when that trial starts, because it was slated to start first week in November, but they pushed it back to March 2025.